Second movie I watched was Leviathan, which came out in 1989, so a year after Deepstar Six.
And this is how it's done.
This is how it's done. It was honestly like a mashup between Abyss, The Thing, and Aliens.
Oh.
So that was really freaking sweet. Cinematography was actually pretty awesome in it, whereas like with Deepstar, there was a lot of like single room shots and not really a lot of action. This had like, they showed different angles and things and lots of the complex. So it basically starts off with, it's a underwater mining team, and they're basically like looking for minerals and shit like that and stuff. And it stars Peter Weller, which was RoboCop in RoboCop. Daniel Stern.
Yeah, that's the Home Alone guy.
Yeah, the tall, lanky crook from Home Alone.
Yeah.
And Ernie Hudson, which is also Winston from Ghostbusters. So that is pretty sweet. And there are like quite a few other people that are like really familiar. Like Michael Carmine was in there. Nice. So yeah, basically what they're like this underwater drill team, and they're like 2 days away from retirement, of course. And
They die.
basically on their like last day or second to last day, they find a shipwrecked Soviet sub known called the Leviathan. Yeah, it's called Leviathan. They bring back a safe, and they crack it open, and they find like a thing of vodka and a bunch of tapes describing the crew's death. So they're like, oh, let's all do shots of this vodka because we haven't drank in like 90 days or something like that. And either way, it turned like only one of them basically pockets the vodka.
Right.
Ernie Hudson. Oh, not Ernie Hudson. He's rad. Fucking creepy uncle from Home Alone.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Daniel Stern steals all the vodka and like shares it with this other chick, and it contained a mutagen in it. So I was sending a bunch of snaps to everyone.
Yeah.
Really good body horror in this movie. Really good body horror. Special effects were done by Stan Winston Studios.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's good.
So the guy behind the Alien Queen and various other...
Yeah, he's done tons of stuff.
Tons of stuff.
He's like big name horror.
Yeah. So he's basically like the Tom Savini of like creature design, really.
Yeah. Tom Savini's more gore, he's more beast.
More monster. Yeah. So, or especially like the big elaborate like animatronic type of creatures.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I think he did like a shitload of stuff, but the main thing I always think, like especially comparison to this, is aliens.
Yeah.
So
right. Yeah.
Like fishy aliens, and then like there was a lot of like throwbacks to The Thing, where they're mutating and stuff. So like one of the guys, he mutates pretty hardcore, and like the other chick drinks the vodka, starts mutating too. And at one point they basically put the two bodies together in the same room, and they like fuse together. And it just starts to like it. Oh, there was one scene where they're like, Ernie Hudson goes to check up on him, and he's already been dead. So he's like, "Oh, hey man, you doing okay? We're missing you," and it's like all this sort of stuff. And you basically see him like roll over and like kind of like move around in the like under the sheets. He's like, "Yeah, you're tired. I'll leave you alone." And you're like, "Oh fuck, that guy's dead and he's moving around. So what's going on?" Really good monster stuff. Really cool like creature things, and like lamprey type creatures that pop out and like infect people, and they all kind of like amalgamate together, and it breaks into the med lab and like basically steals everyone's blood samples and like gains the DNA and just gets bigger and bigger, and
it's like a thing.
It's like The Thing meets Alien/Aliens and Abyss.
Wow, awesome.
Oh, that's crazy.
So I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like,
yeah, that sounds crazy.
Like, would watch again. There are some parts where it kind of like it feels a bit cheesy. Closer to the end, it's almost like they felt like they kind of had to like wrap it up really quick.
Yeah.
Oh,
But it's pretty cool. I liked it. I'd show it off to people. So, yeah, those are my two movies I watched.
Awesome.
Another media-related thing that I thoroughly enjoy is the first two Bioshock games. So these take place in the
Rapture.
underwater city of Rapture. Realistically, should take place in the Midnight Zone.
Yeah.
But
Yes, yeah.
but you know, you can't see shit down there anyway, and it would just be dark. So there's a lot of like crazy like genetic splicing and stuff, because the story goes like this world's version of Howard Hughes was like, I'll build a hotel underwater. Also, fuck the police. So
Nice.
it takes like the world's famous scientists and stuff, and they're just like, here's the deal, we're making this like super utopian society. Also, feel free to do whatever you want, like scientifically. So there's no like laws really. And
Sorry.
my God, there's an EVP. So yeah, basically they find this this type of sea slug on the ocean floor, and it can rewrite your genetic material. Which is where like the atom thing comes from. The atom's used to rewrite the genetic material, and to like refuel that is Eve, which is also derived from there. That it's the mana basically.
Okay.
When you bring it down to it, it's like it was a way to bring in superpowers, but try to make it kind of sciencey and underwater at the same time. So previously undiscovered form of sea slug, you use it to like rewrite your own genetic material.
Got
And-
mana.
Yeah, Eve is mana. So what happens then is the inhabitants, they basically turn into junkies off of this substance.
Oh.
And they're known as splicers. So they've rewritten their genetic material so much that they start to mutate horribly. And the atom supply is running out in Rapture. So what they do is they put one of these sea slugs inside of these little girls in orphanages, basically, and get them to like harvest the atom from corpses. They drink the blood, which then becomes processed through this sea slug organ that they add to them, and they release new atom to be recycled.
Whoa.
Yeah. By the way,
Why
It's kinda
haven't
like
I
a
played this?
It's kind of like a farm thing.
yeah. So it's a first person shooter, but it's kind of done almost kind of like it harkens back to the classic first person shooter style 1 and 2. Just because like you don't have to choose between two weapons and you keep them and stuff. It's more like a Doom feel to it, is what I get. Like a really nice Doom. Like you have your areas and there's secret places, and you're stuck and you can't go anywhere else because you're there. That's it.
Wow.
And you just try to skim. There's lots of story elements and stuff like that, and I'm not going to go too much into that because there are some pretty big spoilers that happen kind of midway through the game. Yeah, holy shit, play it if you haven't. Second game, you play as a Big Daddy, which I personally like the second game quite a bit.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't.
Yeah, I've heard it wasn't
Which is
quite as
fair, you can be wrong.
tempted.
Yeah.
But you play as one of the prototype Big Daddies who gets kind of killed a little. You get killed off before the events of the main game, and then you are awakened years after the first game.
Oh, wow.
So you were one of the Big Daddies that was paired with a little sister, but this was a particularly important little sister. The Big Daddies are basically like genetically modified humans that are like lobotomized, used to build they're like just
They're
chunks
like
of
grunts.
they're chunks of skin grafted into a diving suit.
Whoa.
Like they're actually like you can't take off the diving suit. They're like part of it. Which is why they also have such disfigured bodies. You're just like, there's no way a person can be in there. Yeah. There's a few things where they like show you how, or not show you, but they allude to how they make the Big Daddies, where it's like they go through a voice box modulation. So it's like there's one part where like you become a Big Daddy in the first game.
Oh, yeah.
And you go in, like when you're getting that done, there's like this thing that looks kind of like a mixer, like one of those like mixing gun things, but it's like open and pronged, and you have to like go right up to it, and it like basically just like drills your throat, and you make like fucking whale noises afterwards.
Dude,
it's pretty cool. Yeah. Like I said, I really like the second one. You're a bit more agile. You get the drill hand. You definitely feel like you're this big, fucking hulking force of nature.
Oh, cool.
And you do see everything through the helmet
yellow,
as
yellow
well.
tinted and stuff, right?
Yeah, whenever you like turn a bit quick one way, like you're
You see the edges.
you see the edges of the helmet, and when you're underwater, like a lot of things kind of like you hear the tapping of water on your helmet and stuff. It's a really cool game.
Damn.
It's a really cool game.
That sounds awesome. I've got the first one at home, actually. I think I should play it.
Play that shit.
Yeah.
Just do it. Go home and play that tonight. Like,
Yeah, I will.
at least the first like couple levels,
Yeah, for
just
sure.
to see if you like it. So,
Damn it, yeah.
I mean, they're not for everybody, and I liked the third game, but that takes place in the sky and it's different.
Yeah,
So-
it's a lot more sort of lighter looking. It's
That's kind of neat how like they're both really thematically similar, but
Just the setting
total
is totally
opposites.
cool.
Like total opposites in a lot of ways, where it's like it's up in the air in the sky and it's really open, whereas Bioshock 1 and 2 is underwater and it's dark and it's cold and there's like very little confined spaces.
Huh.
That's really neat.
Cool, man. Damn.
But yeah, no. So those are